It's Arroyo Seco Saints baseball here on the Saints Radio Network on YouTube. Here in McBean Stadium, it's Championship Stadium Day. It's Championship Day here in the CCL State Championship Tournament. I am Alex Nabeja. Alongside of me is Tommy Wirtz and Jarrett Thompson. And we've got the Arroyo Seco Saints taking on against the 1 seed Healdsburg Prune Packers. Both teams going into the losers bracket here in this one as we go with the starting lineups for the Saints. As Tommy Castillo leading things off, Drew Cali in the 2 spot, Peyton Lewis batting 3rd, Josh Cowden will be hitting cleanup, Jack Burden hitting 5th, Jay Cruz will be in the 6th spot, Brandon Boning hitting 7th, Connor Bradshaw hitting 8th, and hitting 9th is Jackson Cobb. As we bring you the starting defense for the Prune Packers. Starting over in left field, Austin Boast. Center field, Cam Blake. And in right field, Blake Burke. Over in third, Braden Runyon will be playing over at third. Ian McMillan at short. Ryan Targach over in second. Torrin Montgomery at first. Behind the plate is Kimball Schwessler. And on the mound is the righty Charlie Hurley. Very shocking development with both the 1 and the 2 seeds dropping down to the losers bracket.
Yeah, definitely a matchup that we probably expected to come over here and have to handle at some point, but maybe not this early. Maybe thought we'd be playing them in this 6 o'clock game, but after an exciting day of baseball, an exciting week of baseball so far, San Luis Obispo Blues, courtesy of them, is why we're here for both of these teams. Healdsburg lost their first game to them of the tournament, and the Saints last night.
Yeah, and how about the Packers' journey to get here down to their last out yesterday against the Conejo Oaks, and then a 2-run shot walks it off and puts them in this place for a chance to compete for this championship.
It all came down to the final out yesterday as Tommy Castillo still in the box, fouling off the 1-2. For those of you just joining us, the Saints, the road team, technically speaking, against the 1 seed Healdsburg Prune Packers.
And I think that could be a good thing for the Saints. They've been the home team in the first 2 games. Now it gives them a chance. You know what? Let's score early. If it could be really important for them to get a good start today, especially coming off a game last night where they really couldn't get anything going, especially with the bats. To get a good start offensively for the Saints today could be really important.
Go establish the pace yourself today. Get off to a hot start and get after it early and make the Packers catch up to you.
And here comes the 2-2, and here's a slow roller going over to short, fielded cleanly by the shortstop for the first out.
Yeah, and a really different lineup for the Saints today. Obviously seeing Connor Bradshaw drop in the batting order all the way down to 8. He's been the leadoff guy on pretty much every game so far this season for the Saints, trying to get runners on for the middle of the order. Speaking like this man, Drew Cali, who all he did was rake last night.
After struggling in the first game, Drew Cali definitely showed up yesterday, was responsible for virtually half the base runners the Saints had yesterday, and his getting on base 4 times yesterday and being robbed of a hit, actually, at the same time, and had to settle for a walk later on in the game.
Yeah, and we talked about it all night long after the game. It was every at-bat Drew Cali came out, there's nobody on base. And when your best player's at the plate, you want to give him a chance to drive in runs. He wasn't able to do that with no one in front of him getting on. That's why you see Castillo ahead of him in the lineup now, hoping he can get on base.
As Charlie Hurley on the mound, evening up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Drew Cali as the Trojan from University of Southern California, Charlie Hurley from Carmichael, California, 6'8" frame on the bump, 210 pounds. The righty kicks and fires, and getting the 2-hitter Cali to chase after that one, 1-2.
Yeah, 6'8", a monster on the mound, really throwing like downhill almost to the plate.
Using every inch of his body really to deliver.
Definitely is going to come into handy for him. Gets a lot closer right there.
As Drew Cali chases after one low and goes down on strikes.
And right there you see, going right after it, outside part of the plate, we saw Drew Cali struggle with it in the first game. It was something he really adjusted to great yesterday. Hit the ball the other way really well. It seemed like whenever he was putting the bat after it, it was hitting the ball and it was going far.
First pitch temperatures at 82 degrees already here at 12 o'clock, but with all the haze atop of us, with the fires going on locally, it really has affected the playing field here, and just the aroma being here in McBean Stadium. You could just smell the brush fire going on, and even if you look closely, you can even see the ash just flying by us.
Definitely a different experience out on the West Coast. Not something you get a lot in the Midwest from something like there, but it is definitely in the air, as you would say, and the visibility is definitely down in the distance. On the drive here, you could totally notice that, and we'll see how it plays a factor in today's baseball game.
And in the weather's app, it definitely is labeled as unhealthy, so very much hoping it's not going to affect anybody that's going to be playing today. It's a big day here in the CCL State Tournament Championship games. Coming up today, this is Game 1. Game 2 will be playing later on tonight at 6 o'clock. The awaiting victors in the San Luis Obispo Blues waiting to see who will they face off against. Will it be a SoCal familiar, or will it be the Prune Packers once again?
And the Blues have beaten both these teams so far in this tournament, so both teams want to get the revenge on the Blues as well.
That one fouled off there at the plate, and you got to expect both of these teams to be going at it, and especially with the lone NorCal team still in it here.
I think we expected it to be a competitive tournament. I don't think we expected anything along this line where it really seemed like any one of the 5 teams who made it at some point had a championship-like moment and could even maybe surprise some people along the way. Conejo Oaks, unfortunately, were the first team out, Lincoln Potters shortly after, but these seeds were after it.
And the 3-2 pitch goes fishing. Couldn't get the fish to lure out the bait. So 3 up, 3 down here for the Saints as we go to the bottom of the first inning as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Three batters up, 3 batters down for the Arroyo Seco Saints as we go to the bottom of the first inning here at McBean Stadium. And here's the starting lineups for the Prune Packers. Austin Boast leading things off. Ryan Targach hitting in the second spot. Cam Blake hitting third. Torrin Montgomery will be hitting cleanup. Blake Burke hitting in the 5th spot. Braden Runyon in the 6th spot. Blake McDonald hitting 7th. Kimball Schwessler will be hitting 8th, and batting 9th is Ian McMillan. As we set up the Saints defensively, Jack Burden over in left, Connor Bradshaw in center, Josh Cowden over in right, your typical Saints outfield. Drew Cowley playing over at third, Brandon Boning at short, Jackson Cobb at second, Jay Cruz now the first baseman. Unfortunately, the Saints had to salute their goodbyes to Jake McMurray, a tip to the cap to what he has been able to do as a Saint. We applaud him in his performances this year. Peyton Lewis behind the plate, and on the mound is David Viscayano.
Going to be a big day for David Viscayano. A guy who came in the middle of the year, was always going to be a Saint, just had to get through some school and vacation at the end of the summer, got in here a few weeks in, and started off in some relief appearances, made a really good start his last time out. He's earned this spot right here, and attacking Boast right away and throwing strikes. Just got in last night on a flight. He's ready to go today, Alex.
Yeah, and it's going to be really important. Like we said, the Saints using probably their two best starting pitchers in Steyer and Chomko already. Now it's time for these other guys to step up. They're going to need that from Viscayano to get them to the championship.
And it's all about meeting these big moments in these elimination games, and we'll see how he does as 0-1 pitch is skied into foul territory, right next to the Saints' bullpen, and they run out of room.
Yeah, and going back to the lineup, obviously McMurray, the Saints' big loss, not just with the bat, but especially defensively. It was very interesting to see what they were going to do. Peyton Lewis playing catcher the last two nights. If they're going to leave him there, if they move him to first, throw someone else to first, they decide to go with Cruz and leave Lewis behind the plate in this game. And then if the Saints win, do you do it again? Do you have Peyton Lewis catch that many innings in not only 3 days, but the same one day as well?
I think the term you want to use is pipe. They're going to play it by ear at first base. Jake Cruz, we saw he got 2 at-bats in the first game, did not impress Aaron Milam, and he was subbed out. I would think if you're Jake Cruz, you're coming out knowing you have to play a good game of baseball today because you forget we still have Bo Willis on the bench. Peyton Lewis has been catching, and Peyton Lewis apparently can play first base is what we've been told. I wouldn't be surprised if there is something that they don't like at first base. We see a substitution, and Willis gets in this game as well, too.
Viscayano with the 1-2. Missing that one low and away. 2-2 as we give you the stat line for David Viscayano. He's got a clear record, 0-0. 15 innings pitched, 14 hits allowed, 7 runs, 6 earned, 12 Ks, 6 walks, and he is rocking a 3.60 ERA. Going to get that swing checked? No, he did not. Full count.
Yeah, and Alex, we get 4 umpires today, which is nice. I mean, we saw him getting beat up last night. We were down to two, and one guy was limping around after taking a foul ball. Good to see we have an umpire in every bag.
Hopefully we keep them all today.
3-2 just manages to maintain a heartbeat there at the plate. We'll do it again, 3-2. As David Viscayano, 6'3", frame on the bump. The freshman weighing in at 220 pounds. Another Big West arm from UC Irvine, an anteater. The only other anteater that the Saints had was Justin Torres, who, with how long he was with the Saints, had a pretty good stint with them.
Yeah, you almost wish he was being here right now. He was a great bat, great lefty bat, played anywhere in the infield virtually. And at a time when they lose their everyday first baseman, maybe you can move people around and get Torres in a lineup today if it was a situation like that.
We'll do it again, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and here's a long bouncer going over to third, having to reach over to make that out, and Cruz coming up with the tag.
Yeah, good play by Cruz there. Callie's throw a little bit up the line, but smart by Cruz to come off the bag, catch and apply the tag. And good job by Viscayano. Both put up a battle, but always the first out in every inning is always so key. Good job by Viscayano to get the leadoff guy.
And it does a lot for your morale when you have these battles and you're able to come on top as a pitcher. When you get these battles that are long ABs and you give up hits, they are draining. When you at least win the battle, you have something to hold your head up high about.
And just like that, Austin Boast working a full count and working quite the appetite of a full at-bat. And just like that, fouled off by Ryan Targach, trailing the count 0-1. The last time Viscayano was on the bump was against Santa Barbara Foresters in July 31st. Has had quite the days off amount. Went a total of 6 1/3 innings of work, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 4 Ks.
And he's going to need to eat some innings today as well, too. Like we said yesterday, Saints using Chomko and Sonduck for an extended period of time. They both should probably be unavailable for at least this first game. Should they make it to the next one, maybe we see some inning appearances out of one or the other, but Viscayano's going to have to eat up innings, and these long ABs to start off the first are not what you like to see. So you have to keep that under control for the rest of his time out here.
So far, the Saints have turned to Steyer, Hannon, along with yesterday's pitching crew of John Chomko, Kyle Sonduck, and Rashad Ruff, really bringing in these heavy hitters to the mound for the Saints and really just trying to hold down the fort and trying to get through the CCL tournament, as the 3-1 is a wild miss upstairs and it's a 1-out walk. And
the good thing, though, Alex, is Tommy Hannon and Rashad Ruff only each win an inning. So, they're going to be available, maybe not for a full, 4 innings or something, but they should be available for today if needed for the Saints.
Absolutely. Rashad Ruff, fantastic, and Tommy Hannon as well, coming out to close that first game when Tommy Steyer went out and put on a gem, the best performance we've seen from a pitcher this year from the Saints. Tommy Hannon, I'm sure, will be on call if situation needs be today, and Rashad Ruff needs to be ready to go as well after being one of the lone bright spots near the end of the game for the Saints.
So we'll see who will be due up for these big moments, as here's a deep fly ball to dead center field, and you could say goodbye to that one. One out jack by Cam Blake, the 3-hitter for the Prune Packers.
And just a pitch that was a get-me-over strike after the walk there from Viscayano, and Cam Blake put a charge into that one off the flagpole to dead center field, and he knew it as soon as he hit it.
Yeah, and I was the opposite. That ball just seemed to keep going. Really carried once it got up there. Bradshaw went as far back as he could, and it hit right off that American flagpole. And we talked about how important it was for the Saints to get off to an early start. This is not what we want to see. Still early, though, but Viscayano now really has to settle down. You don't want this inning to implode.
So just like that, it's a 2-0 lead for the Prune Packers, jumping on Viscayano early on in the ball game. And here's a very heavy hitter, Torrin Montgomery. And
like you said, Tommy, it's the walk before that set up everything. He just walks a guy. What do you want to do? Obviously, you want to throw a first pitch strike, like you said, and Cam Blake was all over that.
Knew it from the beginning, and now you got to face off against Montgomery, who 9 home runs of his own this year. Not an easy out at the plate. Gonna have to dial it back in, locate on the corners, and get him chasing that stuff outside the zone.
And a pitch that hugs 2 inside to Montgomery, 2-1. Here's another guy that you really have to pitch with plenty of caution, just the amount of power that he has there at the plate. Maybe want to turn to some off-speed pitches, and we'll see if he went around. And yes, he did.
Yeah, he went on that.
I think that was a good call over there. I wanted him to check down at least on it. It was definitely worth the call, and first base umpire looks over, and he says, right, yeah, he went around. Totally did. 2-2 the count now.
As Montgomery from University of Missouri-Columbia. 6'3" frame there inside of the batter's box. 235 pounds. Definitely holding his own during this tournament.
Yeah, a guy like him probably loves hitting a ballpark like this.
And he gives a drive over to right center field. Definitely playable here for the Saints, as it'll be Bradshaw that'll camp underneath it for the out.
And a big out number 2 there now for Viscayano after giving up the bomb to Blake, just the batter before, having to go up against a heavy hitter like Montgomery and what we know he can do for the Healdsburg Prune Packers. A pitch that was close in the zone, got him to make bad contact on it, and now 2 down in the inning and a chance to get out of it with just the bomb and only 1 mistake pitch virtually.
And
this one's a ripper, no doubt about it, and you can say goodbye to that one.
Again, first pitch just right there in the meat zone, and Blake Burke crushed that into the backyard of a house. The outfielder's barely moving for the Saints.
If you see that fastball right there, you're going to want to hit it. It doesn't look as small as a baseball. Virtually looks like a watermelon. All you got to do is put the bat on it. And Viscayano just trying to throw strikes, but right down the middle for him, and they're all over it. These Prune Packers were not expecting to come here to be playing in this loser's bracket at all. They're fighting, they're ready, they're hungry, they're swinging early, and they're swinging hard.
Prune Packers definitely jumping ahead as he hits a very routine pop-up to short, and it'll be Boning to record the final outs. So the Prune Packers attack aggressively here to start up the ball game. 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and no runners left on base as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network, the CCL State Championship Tournament. Prune Packers jumping ahead with a 3-run lead as we go to the top of the second inning. Here in McBean Stadium, we'll have Josh Cowden, Jack Burden, and Jay Cruz in that order as they start off. Josh Cowden with a pitch off of the plate, 1-0. Looking at a very different Saints lineup today. A lot of cards being shuffled in the deck. For instance, the first one, very obvious one, Tommy Castillo in that leadoff spot, Drew Cowley in the 2 spot, and Peyton Lewis being bumped up.
And the Saints have been really good this year after allowing a big inning of getting some back right away. They're a team that answers really quickly. We saw it in Game 1, right when they fell behind, immediately dropped a 3 spot. So the 3 runs, obviously not a great start, but a lot of game left. And if they can just start chipping at this game, they can be in business.
And there's going to be a blooper going over to left. Good directional hitting there for Josh Cowden to get things going for the Saints.
Sees the pitch on the outside corner, just goes after it. Follow through with the hands. Need base runners right now. Get the leadoff man on. Josh Cowden picks up his 2nd hit of the tournament. And it's a leadoff single in a moment when they need to get a run back after giving up the 3 spot in the bottom of the 1st inning. A good inning to get at least 1 or 2 of those runs back starts with the leadoff man on.
And before going into this inning, fellas, one of you guys were mentioning, hey, we're in a hitters-friendly ballpark. And quite frankly, the Saints aren't doing the hitting.
And the only team in the tournament not doing the hitting.
They were really fortunate to have a great start from Tommy Steyer in Game 1, which he did give up 2 home runs in that game. Just both of them solo shots, so not much damage to go through there. But other than that, the bats need to wake up for the Saints. They need to score more than 3 runs anyway to win the game, you would think, playing the Prune Packers. And they need to start early. They need to start now.
Burden, not the biggest of fans of that call. And I would agree that the whole Saints dugout as well. Not liking that call, but 2 strikes to Jack Burden, who has been hitting relatively well with the Saints in the postseason and arguably during the regular season. He has been collecting base hits and just finding himself on, and he was trying to protect the plate in the inner half, but goes down on strikes.
Yeah, he goes down early there and wasn't going to have much of a shot after getting that call on the 0-2. Had to protect, and a pitch that rides inside. He was late on it, and he's back in the 1st out of the 2nd inning.
So with 1 gone, runner at first by the leadoff single by Josh Cowden. It's Jake Cruz stepping up to the plate. And earlier in the broadcast, you guys were talking about how Cruz getting plugged into first after the departure of Jake McMurray, going back home. But that was ultimately the goal for the Saints when Jay Cruz bounced into the squad with the Saints. That first game against the Urban Youth Academy Barons. And they ultimately needed depth at the first base position.
Yeah, the loss of McMurray, a big one. Like I said, not just a guy that's going to hit at the top of the order, but excellent defense. We talked about if there's gold gloves in the CCL.
And this was a bouncer, and it's going to be up to the pitcher Hurley to come up with the outs.
If there's gold gloves in the CCL, there's a lot of players on the Saints that could get him. It's like Boning and McMurray, 2 of the favorites.
Definitely will be interesting to see how the Saints team, how the Saints culture can stand with the loss of McMurray overnight. But if any team's going to come out here and do it, it can be the Saints. A lot of veterans mixed in with some great young talent at the earlier ages in college. And one of their veterans coming up here now. See if he can drive in a run and help set up for his team later on.
First runner in scoring position here for the Saints, and able to get that first pitch strike to Brandon Boning after a very off night for the bottom half of the lineup for the Saints. Boning went 0 for 4 with a flyout, strikeout, lineout, and a grounder, doing every way that he can be out. A liner, a flyout, and a grounder. And very aggressive approach here at the plate, and he's trailing the count now with 2 strikes.
Yeah, well, also Boney hit the ball really hard yesterday. I mean, the liner was a line shot to right field. The flyout went to the warning track. So a little bit of tough luck. He had 2 hits the game before. One of the hottest hitters towards the end of the regular season for the Saints.
Not a mistake at all in my books to move him up in the order today. Get him up to the 7th spot, not much higher than his usual 8th spot, but Brandon Boning has earned the jump up, and maybe should he have a big game today and a championship game later, he gets even higher.
Trying to climb the ladders at him there with a fastball high and tight. It's 1-2 now. Brandon Boning, one of the leaders as far as ABs are concerned, 125 going into this ball game. 288 average, really has bumped up that average. Had a very promising start to the year. Midway through the year, started to fall off the offensive numbers as he goes after the breaking ball, goes down on strikes. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base, 3-0 in favor of the Prune Packers. As you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Another tough inning of offense for the Saints. As we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning, the Prune Packers will have the bottom half of their lineup due up. It'll be McDonald, Schwessler, and McMillan in that order. David Viscayano had a very rough start to the ballgame as the first pitch is a can of corn going over to right field, having to take a couple of backpedal steps to right is Josh Cowden for the first out.
And that's a great first pitch of the inning there for Viscayano off the edge of the plate right there. Going to be a tough bat for McDonald to barrel up. He swings at it. He makes contact. Not going to nearly have enough of it. Can of corn for Cowden. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd after having a long first inning.
So a huge sigh of relief there for Viscayano, able to get a 1 pitch, 1 out after a 22-pitch inning to start up the ball game. Definitely worked some overtime in the office. As the 1-0, and here's a bouncer, backhanded by Boney, gets the candy hop. He's looking for a high throw, but still able to get the outs.
Yeah, the Packers obviously not familiar with the Saints. Don't know yet that you can't hit it to short when you're playing the Saints because everything over there is going to be scooped up by Boning. And good job by now, Viscayano. Not a lot of pitches. Gets the first 2 guys here with the bottom of the order like he can. If he can just get McMillan here and get the Saints bats back up, be a real confidence booster for the rest of his outing.
Ian McMillan, the 9th spot in the lineup. If he gets on, we'll go back to the top of the order with Austin Boast. That one pitching that one by his back. It may have been a breaking ball that he lost the grip out of. It looked like it was still breaking while it was spinning behind McMillan. So the Prune Packers, the 1 seed in conference play, 27-5, 11 games in front of the two spot in the NorCal division with the Lincoln Potters, who were eliminated very early on in this tournament. And overall, the Prune Packers rocking the 43-7 overall record. And definitely going into this postseason, red hot, 8-2 in the last 10 games. And so far, the SoCal teams here in the CCL have been greeting the Prune Packers very rudely. They are dropped down to the losers bracket as the 2-1 goes after the high cheddar. Now the count evened up 2-2.
And you mentioned the SoCal teams really coming up right now. We have a chance to have an all-SoCal championship should the Saints come out victorious on this one. But the Healdsburg Prune Packers, we all knew, we saw what they were doing all season long. Were the juggernaut in the north. And to come over here and be surprised a little bit by some SoCal baseball.
Breaking ball in the dirt there by McMillan, working it full. And we all knew that the Saints were going to meet up with the Prune Packers. There was no way of avoiding it. As we mentioned last night, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And so far, you are potentially watching maybe the top 2 teams in the CCL, maybe even top 3, top 4.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to see these teams face each other? Obviously, maybe a championship a little more exciting, but still an elimination game. Both these teams coming into the playoffs were atop their standings, minus obviously Santa Barbara not playing in this playoff. But the 2 teams that were on the top of their standings playing this playoffs were these 2 teams.
3-2, and it's a wild miss there by Viscayano. Not happy about how that one resulted in his behalf.
Yeah, you don't want to do that with the 9 guy with 2 outs, walking him to bring up the top of the order.
Would have been nice to get a 1-2-3 inning after the bottom of the first, but he'll have to try to get the 4th man out of the inning. Boast grounded out his last time up. If Viscayano can get him out early and get out of this quickly, he'll be happy with how his second inning turned out.
That's the second base on balls given up there by Viscayano. The first one was to Ryan Targach, which resulted in a 2-run blast. Definitely walks are coming up costly, and that one may come very expensive for Viscayano, hitting the one-hitter, Austin Boast.
Yeah, and Viscayano looks like a completely different pitcher than the first 2 hitters in this inning in this one. Just maybe frustrated with the walk of McMillan, and that one runs in, and I think this is very smart here by pitching coach Josh Schmidt and Peyton Lewis to go talk to him, settle him down, be like, do what you do at the beginning of this inning because it's starting to fall apart here. 2 free passes. They haven't got a hit this inning.
Definitely want to see at least what's going on with Viscayano right now. Hopefully it's just a little bit of jitters and a couple of bad pitches. Had the full count on McMillan, just lost him on the 4-pitch walk. And then the hit by pitch right after it as well. Not what you like to see from Viscayano. He's got to settle down and get out of this inning. You had the first 2 guys out. You cannot allow a 2-out rally.
And it looks like the Saints do have an arm already in the bullpen warming up. It looks like Chris Stamos, the lefty, throwing around in there in case Viscayano can't get out of some of this trouble.
So it's 2 gone, 3-0. Prune Packers attacking early on in the ballgame with 2 home runs, 1 2-run shot and 1 solo shot. And now looking to add some more run insurance for Hurley. The lengthy arm from USC, and the star Ryan Targach with fastball away, 1-0 as Ryan Targach coming into this game 4th best in a batting average, .365, and leading the team in at-bats, 126. 1-0, and there's another pitch missing, 2-0, and of course this is the guy that you really want to be careful with what you toss, especially with just the numbers that Targach has. But at the same time, you've got to go after these Prune Packers.
Yeah, and going back to the at-bats we were listening, he's the guy like Drew Cali on the Saints you want in your lineup every day. You don't want to take him out. Maybe you don't want to give him those rest days because just him being in that lineup makes your team so much better.
And now 3 balls in a row after the visit from Viscayano. You don't want to walk Targach again. Did that last time. Ended up allowing the 2-run bomb to Blake. And then you have to throw him a strike with the bases loaded.
Still no hits in this inning.
3-0. And that's a passport given up to Targach.
And I would imagine
Yeah,
right now that the leash has been short, and sure enough, that might be the end of the day for Viscayano. You know he's not happy with how it went. Aaron Milam at least going to come out here and talk to him now. And he's going to hand him the ball, and I think we're going to get Stamos when we come back.
Two gone, 3-0 here in McBean Stadium. The Prune Packers looking for some more insurance runs for their starter, Charlie Hurley, as they turn to Chris Stamos. The southpaw 6'4" frame, freshman weighing in at 205 pounds.
Yeah, Alex bringing in the lefty to face the lefty in Cam Blake, and I think the first message from Milam to Stamos is throw strikes. Not a hit in this inning, a walk, hit by pitch, and walk. Throw strikes. If he beats you, he beats you. Do not walk him.
And there's a pitch called strike to Cam Blake, and he's got the tough part of the lineup that he's got to deal with. As we give you the final stat line for David Viscayano, 1 2/3 innings of work, no Ks, 3 walks, 2 base hits, and 3 earned runs. As the 1-1 waved at and missed, but that one gets by Lewis. And here comes in the 4th run of the game.
And just you get a great pitch there from Chris Stamos, in which you got a breaking ball that completely fools a hitter who's got one of the hardest hit balls today. And Lewis unable to get in front of it, and the pass ball just has been so detrimental this last few weeks for the Saints, and it really has been a part of some real hardships and struggles they've had. And a pitch that even when you get over with it and get a strike called, it still comes back to bite you.
And, Alex, that wasn't even the final outcome you just listed for Viscayano. As that run goes on him, and those runners on second and third still fall on Viscayano if Stamos can't get out of it.
He got 4 earned runs there for Viscayano, and just one of those tough days, just in the worst of timings here in this postseason. 2-2, waved at it, missed, and still applying the tag as they'll put the last out away for the Prune Packers. 1 run, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. 4 earned runs for David Viscayano as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. The Prune Packers add another run to the 4-0 lead that they possess. We'll have Connor Bradshaw, Jackson Cobb, and back to the top of the order with Tommy Castillo. Bradshaw dropping down to the 8th spot. Really has not been able to get any base hits here in this postseason. Went 0 for 4 against the Lincoln Potters. A K, a RBI ground out, another K, then a walk.
Yeah, and he's a guy that really never went on a slump all season long in the regular season until the end of the regular, basically maybe the last week into the postseason. Just the worst timing for Bradshaw.
And another just series of unfortunate events there for Connor Bradshaw. Finally feeling good about himself, piecing one, but just ends up lining one straight to Braden Runyon.
And you mentioned the slump he continues. That one hurts the most when you get a good piece of contact on it in a week where you've had struggling at the plate for Bradshaw, and you finally think you get a good piece of wood on it, and it's a liner right to the third baseman, and just as quick as you thought it was a great pitch, you're out.
And that's the way it goes, right? When you're in a slump, the hardest hit ball sometimes won't fall for you, and then when you got to go in, the bloops will. It's unfortunate there.
And once again, Cobb trying to poke that one the other way. It's going to be a tough play by the shortstop, and the throw was in time by Ian McMillan.
And what a play by McMillan right there. We don't have the best view of first base. It was going to be a bang-bang play, and I thought Cobb was for sure going to be able to beat that one out. Doesn't seem to be much chirping from the Saints dugout about it. A great play over there by McMillan to retire the very fast and speedy Cobb, and 2 down quick again in the top of the third.
What a play there by Ian McMillan. That is not routine. That is a slow roller. Having to go for it away from first as there's a line shot right off of Runyon. Couldn't control it there. And this could potentially be the start of something for the Saints.
Yeah, Castillo lacing a single there. Almost got robbed again, which would have been unfortunate. However, the Saints being aggressive here in inning number 3, as you can tell, swinging the first pitch. And that brings up Drew Cali, like we said, now with a runner on.
Big reason why Castillo did move up. Has gotten on in each of the other 2 games that we've played so far. Now Drew Cali's got an opportunity to hit one of those famous doubles that he has all season long. And Castillo with the wheels at first, maybe get their first run of the ball game.
And there's one sharply hit to short. McMillan once again is putting up a highlight reel here in this inning. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 4-0 in favor of the Prune Packers as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Charlie Hurley getting some help from his defense, especially from the shortstop Ian McMillan, robbing the Saints of a hit along with Braden Runyon. As Chris Stamos comes back onto the mound, we'll face off against Torrin Montgomery, Blake Burke, and Braden Runyon. As we give you the final stat lines. Before we give you the stat lines, actually, it looks like the two of the umpires still having a word with Coach Milam during the break. Head Coach Milam was having a word with the umpires. We're not entirely sure what he's potentially arguing.
Yeah, I initially thought maybe it was the Cobb play because I know Cobb was talking a little bit to the first base umpire, but I don't know if Milam would be talking this long about that, like, little infield single.
A ground ball in the top of the third inning. I mean, you got plenty of game left, so what would it be? But looks like whatever it was seems to be resolved in a pretty timely and cordial fashion. There's not too much drama or tension with it, just addressing something.
And this could be a really big inning for the Saints and Stamos. Stamos came in, got his one man that he faced via the strikeout and looked good. But the Saints hit the ball well. Again, a little bit of unfortunate luck, and hopefully Stamos can get those bats quickly back up because we're seeing the ball good.
As Stamos kicks and fires, and it's Montgomery fouling the first offering 0-1. As Chris Stamos, 0-1 record with 18 1/3 innings of work, 20 hits, 15 runs, 12 of them earned, 19 Ks, 6 walks, and he's working with a 5.89 ERA. Firing the 0-1, some nice late movement on the breaking ball, just missing low, 1-1.
And Stamos is one of those that it seems that he kind of gets to have his numbers inflated a little bit from a couple bad performances, has been a serviceable lefty out of the pen, and coming up at a big moment here that he has to come in earlier than expected for a starter that didn't go as long as they thought, and a really good opportunity for Stamos to establish himself and go off strong this season should he eat a few innings for the Saints.
And a pitching staff with not a lot of southpaws as well, and losing Garnett as well. They lost one. So Stamos, one of only a few.
And Tristan Garnett, originally from his Hills, a Division II program, competing in the CCAA conference, but shortly after the CCL showcase game was offered to play for the Philadelphia Phillies, and he signed it in a heartbeat.
And why wouldn't you? 6'5", 240 pounds, left-handed, very raw talent, but we saw his flashes on what he can do. He can touch a fastball right around the 90-mile-an-hour mark, near the 95 if he touches it. And a great guy, amazing for the culture, and he's a great team player, and he's a competitor. And he's going to go out there ready to work and hopefully achieve his dream one day playing in the bigs.
Yeah, now, I wish it could have been a team other than the Phillies? Absolutely. But in the end, like you said, a big congrats to him. Well, like you said, one of the nicest guys in the Saints clubhouse, and really no one more deserving than Tristan.
Says from the Braves guy over here.
Garnett was striking out a minimum of 4 batters every single start that he would have. Record didn't really show much. Had a losing record of 0-2, but definitely was pitching the lights out. And maybe the start that highlights his campaign with the Saints has to go back to the Palm Springs Power back in June 19th. 3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 5 Ks against a program that is super strong in the SoCal scene in summer baseball. Doing the right things on the mound. 6'6" frame on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Still to the leadoff runner, Torrin Montgomery, putting up a great at-bat, 4-0. Prune Packers jumping ahead in the first 2 innings of work. A breaking ball, outer edge, and another one bites the dust.
And Montgomery is not happy about it. I think over here we saw it was coming back into the zone. From our angle, it looked good. It was a nasty breaking ball that broke a lot, and it broke late for Stamos. And he thought he was going to get a good call on it, as we did as well. Montgomery, not the same.
No, Stamos has that breaking ball working right now. It looks nasty, and that pitch has given him 2 strikeouts in the 2 batters he's faced so far.
2 Ks already here in this relief appearance and 2 batters that he faced off against. And there's an excuse me swing, but Stamos has plenty of time to record the out himself.
Yeah, good job by Stamos. I mention this all the time. We see how many times pitchers airmail a throw, but he took his time and made a strong throw to first. And now, like we said, could be, if he can get Runyon here, be a really good 1-2-3 inning, much needed.
Got the first 2 guys last inning as well, but after the walk, hit by pitch, and another walk by Viscayano, Stamos came in during that situation. A wild pitch got the run to come around. Don't want to have a similar result. You have 2 outs, get out of the inning, no runs across.
Especially going through this middle part of the lineup, the Prune Packers, their offense is no joke. Going through Montgomery and Burke, and originally Burke going yard on the baseball in his first at-bat.
Yeah, no doubter.
And that's a deep shot. It's going over to left. We'll see if that stays. No chance. And you could say goodbye to that one.
Yeah, speaking of a no-doubter, Runyon turned all on that one. And again, it's the 2 outs. The Saints can't get out of the inning. And the 3rd home run of the game already for the Packers, and it's 5.
And the aggression by Healdsburg right now has to be the story. They continue to keep swinging, and they are going early in counts, making counts last longer than they should. And when they want to get me over pitches, they are all over them. And now the 2nd inning, we've seen at least a home run, already 3 through 3 innings for Healdsburg.
And it's the emotion right now. The momentum's completely on this first base dugout for the Packers. The Saints, nothing going their way right now. They got to get some type of momentum, some big hit, something to flip the tide, because it's all Packers right now. You can tell just looking at the players.
Not a lot of noise being made by the Saints dugout today. Now it's a 5-0 lead for the Prune Packers. Hurley, when he comes back to the mound, he's going to have plenty of runs to work with here. The Saints still trying to figure out Charlie Hurley. And quite frankly, he has been using every inch of that 6'8" frame on the mound. Despite the last inning, the Saints really squaring up on the baseball. But unfortunately, hitting it straight to the defense, and of course the defense robbing the Saints of some base hits. This time is called by Blake McDonald, who is 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. And here's a pop-up. We'll see if it could stay, but they run out of room, and it'll be a souvenir near us.
Nice catch made over there. And fans let them know Healdsburg Prune Packers traveling very well. A lot of loud, energetic, exciting fans. And very happy to see success from their team early on in this ball game and throughout the tournament. And like we said, they were 1 out away from being eliminated yesterday by a SoCal team in the clutch 2-run bomb walk-off fashion yesterday. They are riding that momentum and riding it hot into today's ball game.
All it really takes is one swing of the bats to be able to give your dugout life. And boy, were they alive yesterday. As soon as that baseball was hit, all of us experienced that one, and all of us, the whole entire stadium just had their jaws dropped. Wow, did this really just happen right now? Final out for the Conejo Oaks to come from the last seed, that 5 seed in the CCL State Championship Tournament. And a lot of people, there's always a lot of people that root for the underdog of the tournament, try to go for that lower seed. And the Conejo Oaks, they were just an out away from playing today.
Yeah, that win would have made the North teams 0-4 in the tournament. So it gave not just the Packers obviously their first win, but the North teams, that obviously only 2 of them. But Lincoln lost their first 2 games. Packers lost their first. And that walk-off gave them here. And now they're up 5-0 with a chance to go to the championship.
2-2. This one is ripped straight to the Saints bullpen, but it will go a foul.
And a lot of good movement there on the breaking ball from Stamos. The problem with it is he hung it right down the middle of the plate. And very lucky McDonald was able to rip that one down the line foul, because a pitch that just hung there, once they get the movement down after seeing it a little bit and they can know where it's located up, cannot afford to hang it.
A bouncer, and that one gets by the diving Drew Cowley for a 2-out single for Blake McDonald.
Yeah, the Packers have gotten a run in each inning with 2 outs. It seems like that final out for the Saints is just so hard to get right now. Stamos breezing through this inning, getting Montgomery and Burke, 2 guys that aren't easy outs. And now back-to-back hits, including obviously the home run, has them in trouble with 2 outs here in the third.
So 5-0. Prune Packers all the way, keeping the Saints staring at their taillights. As the 8-hitter Kimball Schlesler coming up to the plate. So 0-1 to Schussler, grounding out to short his first time up. There's a jam shot, just manages to stay foul. Looks like it had enough spin to be able to go down the line and foul there.
And that was a good point you brought up, Jarrett. 3 innings of work so far in this game and already 3 runs with 2 outs on the board already for the Saints. Another heartbreaking stat to hear when you're so close to getting out of an inning and you've given up these runs not in each of the first 3 innings on top of it.
Yeah, and all summer long we've talked about how important that first out of the inning is. Well, they retired the leadoff guy in every inning so far. It's that final out, like you said, that they're just having trouble with, and Packers give credit to them for these 2-out rallies.
So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Prune Packers still looking for some more runs. A total of 13 hitters for the Prune Packers are hitting above 300 as there's a fly ball routine to center field for Connor Bradshaw. So 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 5-0, all Prune Packers. As you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Another offensive inning for the Prune Packers, 5-0. I'm Alex Nebeca. We'll turn it into Tommy Wartz to go ahead and take care of the play-by-play. Alongside of him is Jarrett Thompson. Take it away, Tommy.
Hey, thank you, Alex. Yeah, we head to the top of the 4th inning here in Lincoln, California. Charlie Hurley continuing to dominate on the mound still here. No runs given up so far for him. And now to face Peyton Lewis, Josh Cowden, and Jag Burden. The second time through the order, currently sits 5-0 here in the top of the 4th inning in favor of the Healdsburg Prune Packers. And after a couple pitches from Hurley, both missing. 2-0 the count now to Lewis.
Yeah, and last inning the Saints hit Hurley hard. I mean, Bradshaw hit a laser right at third. Cobb nearly beat out an infield hit. And then Castillo obviously ripped a single, and Callie had a hard shot to short. So starting to see the ball maybe the second time through the order.
Sometimes just going through that order the second time can really do the trick. But moving forward here for the Saints, I want to see them be patient at the plate. It's good to attack that first pitch because sometimes that is the best one that you're going to see. But try to make Hurley work a little harder. Use his length to his disadvantage. Try to find that Achilles heel in that height that he has and just try to work these at-bats as much as possible.
Going to have to go deep into counts, and we know the Saints can come back in these situations. After 2 foul balls, counts now 2-2. The delivery from Hurley, it's going to be outside, and we're going to work to a full count. And we had a very common theme in the beginning of the season where through the first 3 innings, the Saints bats would often be very quiet. We knew the pitching was great all year, but always had to get through a couple times. The full count pitch from Hurley. Lewis rips one over, and it's going to be lined out to second, and another hard hit ball by the Saints that just can't find an opening.
You can't make it up, Tommy. They're barreling these balls up. It's just not falling for them at all right now.
Gonna see if some luck can change in their favor. Very common to see. Once in a while, you got a ball robbed from you when you barrel it up, but right now it seems like everything for the Saints that can go wrong has, and now it's going to be the BYU Cougar, Josh Cowden, to come step in with one down here in the 4th. First pitch well outside. It's ball 1. It'll be 1-0. Lewis lining out to second to lead off the inning.
Cowden got the first hit for the Saints, one of the 2 hits right now for them in this ball game.
And ideally, the only...
As that one gets ripped up the middle by Cowden, and his day continues with some success. His second hit in as many ABs.
And sorry, Alex, go ahead.
And there's a baseball that's not hit straight to the defense at some point as Cowden just once again, it's just the directional hitting, just hitting it where the defense is not. Nothing wrong with the other guy squaring up with the baseball, getting all club and just trying to place it somewhere, but unfortunately hasn't been the case. But you know what, Josh Cowden, hitting is very much on his side today.
Yeah, and Tommy, we talked about all summer with Cowden. It seems like he gets his hits in bunches. He was hitless yesterday. He got one this morning. It's like you just know hits are going to follow today. It's his day.
Josh Cowden has been great AB all year long for the Saints, and going to be one of those guys that's going to be hard to say goodbye to from Utah at the end of the year. A lot of these guys are West Coast guys, mostly California guys, and one of those guys traveling out from Utah to get over here to play in Pasadena, and was a great representative of the Saints this year. First pitch to Burden was called strike, and after that one's fouled off, it's now quickly 0-2 on Burden, who already had a 3-pitch AB last time up.
Yeah, and Burden, a few times he's looked back at this umpire, even on that first pitch in this at-bat, not really a fan of the strike zone that the home plate umpire has given him.
It's Hurley on the mound, who's been dominant as of late. The 0-2 pitch, and Burden's just flailing at it. It's going to be a strikeout for Hurley, and it's the second out here in the top of the 4th.
5th strikeout for Hurley, getting Burden twice. 2 strikeouts against Burden, 6 pitches thrown to him.
You know that he's not reading the baseball very well today. The first at-bat just guessing on the fastball inside, just couldn't even keep up with it. Now this time guessing with that off-speed pitch low and away that was nowhere near the zone. Just a very tough day for Jack Burden. Yesterday, the Saints had a very tough time. It was Connor Bradshaw who had a very tough time there at the plate, just guessing these breaking balls and just trying to throw the bat hit out.
And now a guy who wants to improve his stat line so far is Jake Cruz at the plate. First pitch from Hurley fouled off by Cruz, and he'll be behind 0-1.
This is a guy that we are very excited to experience. This is his type of ballpark. All he has to do is just find a pitch that he can drive inside, and hey, the odds are in his favor as far as him. He just needs to get a hold of one.
One of the biggest swings on the team, Jake Cruz, for sure. Definitely can hit it a country mile if he can get around to it, but has struggled as of late. Taking there, evening the count now, 1-1 to Cruz.
Yeah, he definitely has the power. Like you said, Tommy, that big swing he has going really swings for the fences every time, but like you said, recently just having trouble making contact. The strikeouts starting to add up a little bit.
Easy guy to root for, too. Great team morale guy and really close to a lot of players, interns, staff. Everyone seems to get along with Cruz, but has to be on a short leash, you would imagine, today. If at-bats don't improve, we saw him get subbed out once already in a game earlier in the state championship run. Bo Willis yet to even play in this tournament. As Cruz putting up a good at-bat here, not getting anything to hit. After a couple of balls, it's now the hitter's count, 3-1.
Yeah, dangerous count to a dangerous hitter. If you're Hurley, you cannot just leave one over the zone. You can't throw a give-me-over fastball to Cruz. You know Cruz is be hunting it. I would not be surprised if Cruz is going into this saying, I'm swinging hard on this pitch no matter what.
Looking for his first action this year, late comer. Here comes the pitch from Hurley. It's a fastball, and Cruz is going to deliver up the middle. A nice play at second, and it'll be a fielder's choice. And it will end the inning. The theme continues. Another hard hit ball that looked to sneak up the middle. But Healdsburg able to get in front of it, and it will end the inning. Ryan Targach coming up big for the Prune Packers. And it'll take us to the bottom of the fourth, where the Saints are still trailing 0-5. Nothing here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Arroyo Seco Saints trail the Healdsburg Prunes Packers. Here to lead things off to start off the bottom of the fourth inning. It's going to be Ian McMillan. And there's a first pitch from Stamos, a get-me-over fastball. That one's going a long way, and it's gone. The lead-off pitch of the inning. McMillan saw it and was waiting for it and launched it.
Wow. Gets a fastball right down the middle, and these Prune Packers, they are not afraid to swing that first pitch strike as they have been doing so against Viscayano and now against Stamos, and just making it just tougher and tougher to try to come back into this game. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and now 1 in the fourth inning, and this inning is not even done yet.
Yeah, fourth home run of the game, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, all 4 of them on the first pitch of the at-bat. These get-me-over fastballs not getting by the Packers, and they're turning on them.
Seems like they have it figured out right now. Got to mix something up, becoming predictable. Now, leadoff man back up for his third time already today, Austin Boast. Ground out victim his first time up, then was part of that pass ball inning in which he was hit by a pitch his last time up. The 0-1 now, as that one was all over it, Boast. But it's going to be a long strike two, and the count's now 0-2 after the leadoff home run by McMillan.
It's a hitter's ballpark, and the Packers are taking advantage of it. Swinging for the fences, and some of these could be home runs at a lot of ballparks, especially the Blake Burke one, but Saints really digging themselves in a hole here as this game starts to move on.
0-2 pitch from Stamos. The curveball, not sure where that one misses, but it's going to be ball one in the count to Boast. And they'll have to reset. Stamos felt good about it. Looks like he's going to work quick. See what he goes back to here. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball this time got away from him. Low and inside, and just like that, after we thought it was going to be a 3-pitch AB, the last 2 pitches called balls, and the count's now evened up 2-2.
So that's a pitch that's right at the knees right there. That's something you should be disappointed about if you're Chris Stamos. I would try to attack that part of the zone once again, try to put the pressure on Boast, and see if he could get that call in his favor.
And that 2-2 pitch is fouled off by Boast, and just continuing to be a nuisance at the plate as well are the Healdsburg Prune Packers. Not going down easy in any of these ABs, even at bats where they seem to struggle or get out. They've taken them into long counts and worked the 2 pitchers, Viscayano and Stamos, very hard so far today. 2-2 pitch from Stamos. This one gets by him here, and Boast will be retired on strikes.
Yeah, Stamos with the fastball this time for his 3rd strikeout. First one via the fastball. Blown by Boast. Boast 0 for 2 now, and that's going to bring up Targach, who we just saw made an excellent defensive play.
Targach, yet to get an official AB today, has been walked both times so far by the Saints. First time he came around to score because the man on deck, Cam Blake, the 2-run bomb in the 1st inning. The first pitch to Targach from Stamos is the breaking ball, and it's ball 1 to Targach.
And the man on deck, Cam Blake, was the first batter Stamos came in and faced, so it's his first time, completing his first time through the entire order of the Packers.
You saw that right there. That one gets away from Stamos. It's the fastball by the shoulder. And Targach has come to the plate 3 times, but in the stat book has not gotten a single at-bat with the 2 walks and then the hit-by pitch with that last one.
Stamos is trying to catch a break right about now. He has just had a tough time. Had a very strong start in his relief appearance, striking out the first 2 and retiring the first 3. But the long balls, they are just stinging the Saints today.
And completing his first time through the order there is Stamos now. This is who his first batter was with the bases loaded, Cam Blake. Up here for the Prune Packers. First pitch from Stamos is a strike, and it'll be ahead 0-1. And Stamos, strikeout on Blake last time up. Looking to do the same, get a ground ball, something to help the Saints get some momentum in this game.
Yeah, Blake's the one that got it all started today, that 2-run shot in the first off Viscayano, and really the Packers have never looked back.
After the strike to start off the AB, then the take from Blake. Counts now even up 1-1. We have Targach at first via the hit by pitch. Blake's all over that one. That one caught a lot of plate, but well ahead of it. It'll be a foul ball, and now the count's 1-2.
Definitely regretting himself there. How did he not get a hold of that pitch?
1 down in the inning. Started off with a leadoff home run by Ian McMillan and a strikeout from Austin Boast. And the hit by pitch after. There's a ground ball to second. Jackson Cobb's going to flip over to Boning. This could be 2, and it is. And a big double play there after allowing the leadoff home run to McMillan. Stamos gets out of it after the hit by pitch. And it's the 4-6-3 that ends this one. But 1 run does come across to score. We're going to head to the top of the 5th inning here in Lincoln, California, where the Saints currently trail the Prune Packers 6-0. Top of the 5th inning here in Lincoln, California of the CCL State Championship Tournament. It's the Healdsburg Prune Packers, the number 1 seed, taking on the number 2 seed, the Arroyo Seco Saints. And a matchup not in the championship, but rather in the consolation semis right now. And Charlie Hurley is currently dealing for the Prune Packers. Prune Packers lead 6-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. And Brandon Boning to lead things off for the Saints. As the first pitch from Hurley was fouled off, he's delivering for the second. That one catches the zone, and quickly ahead and working is Hurley, 0-2.
And this is a point in the game where I want to see, if not head coach Aaron Milam, one of the leaders in the clubhouse for the Saints, talk to the team, be like, if we lose, our season's over. So we need to get something going. If we want any chance to win this game, we got to get it. We're through 4 now. We're running out of innings. It's a must-win game or your summer's done.
Would be a long journey to get 6 back at the end in the later innings. Start chipping away at it now. Hurley looking to keep it to that 6-run lead. That pitch gets away from a little bit. High fastball. And the count's evened up 2-2.
So far in these last 2-3 innings with Hurley taking long rests, he's been showing some lack of command here.
And there's a ground ball over to Targach at second. And it's an easy throw over to Montgomery, and Boning will be retired for the first out of the top of the 5th. Boning now moves to 0-2 today, and that's going to bring up the Pepperdine Wave. Connor Bradshaw, the usual leadoff hitter, in an unfamiliar spot today. Maybe the kick he needs in his game right now. Currently hitless in this state championship series right now, but he's the first person aware of that and wants to get out of it, and swinging big on the first pitch of the AB is Bradshaw. But it's fouled off, and it'll be 0-1 to start him off.
Connor Bradshaw just trying to have a similar approach, just like the Prune Packers have had, attacking that first one, and he had a very promising first at-bat, but just going straight to the glove. And you know what? Easily the storyline today. Saints squaring up on the baseball, just going straight to the defense, and even the defense coming up big and backing up Hurley, and they are determined to be the last 2 to face off against the Blues.
And there's a curveball to Bradshaw. Didn't see that one coming, and now behind 1-2 after fouling the first one off and taking the next one. Hurley, see what he goes after Bradshaw with, as he gets a nice piece of wood there, but to no surprise at this point, a line shot to center field, and it's an easy play over there by Blake, and it's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, it's just another one. Like I said, you can't make it up. And for Bradshaw, a guy that really hasn't got anything going in these playoffs, it's some tough luck here with 2 lineouts.
Quickly 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Charlie Hurley working quickly on the Saints. And it's going to be the 9-hitter Jackson Cobb, who came up big in the first game for the Saints. A little quieter in the second game versus the Blues, but still one of the best and hottest hitters so far this entire summer. And what could be his last game is for sure his last day as a Saint. It's quickly 0-2 on Cobb.
He's been pretty exciting to watch this summer. I mean, defensively with what he's been able to do, especially with the stick, what he's able to do as well. And yes, he is shorter than 6 foot, but it just goes to show you once again.
And that one, fastball near the 6-foot mark, up in the zone there. It's blown right past Cobb, and it'll be a strikeout to end the inning for Hurley, as he's now through 5 without allowing a run. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Saints are trailing currently 0-6. You're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network for the 2021 CCL State Championship Series. 6-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Saints currently trail the Healdsburg Prune Packers in their first matchup of the season. Coming in the CCL playoffs, Torrin Montgomery here to lead things off for the Healdsburg Prune Packers. And Stamos starting him off with a pitch that looked good to Montgomery. He's not going to be able to get to it, and it'll be strike one, 0-1.
Yeah, Montgomery, one of the 3 strikeouts for Stamos. He got Montgomery looking. Montgomery and the Packer fans not a fan of that call.
And Montgomery all over that one, but just able to get a piece. It's quickly 0-2 on Montgomery. Montgomery's strikeout victim his last time up and flew out to center in his first appearance. Has been a great bat for the Prune Packers all season long. Here in the cleanup spot today. Stamos to deliver, the 0-2. Ripped down over towards second. Jackson Cobb with the speed able to make over. Across his body, makes the throw to Cruz. And it's a nice play by Cobb for the first out of the 5th.
Great play by Cobb, running over in the hole. And then not an easy throw, throwing across his body like that. But a good job, and Stamos gets Montgomery for the second time he's faced him. Montgomery now 0 for 3. It's kind of a shocker he's not one of the ones doing the damage, but the rest of his team has picked him up, including this guy, Blake Burke.
Just goes to show you how much ground this middle infield can cover, and they have just been showing that off all season long, that 1-2 punch of Boning and Cobb, just phenomenal.
Now Blake Burke coming in to face Stamos. A home run already today for Burke in the first inning. Couldn't hold up on the first pitch there. That one he does hold up on. So it evens out now, 1-1 to Burke. Score sits at 6-0 here in Lincoln, California for the CCL State Championship. Chris Stamos on the mound, missing there, 2-1, was not the starter today. David Viscayano coming in from UC Irvine, an inning and 2/3, and Stamos came in for relief, and that's what we have so far for the Saints. The 2-1 from Stamos that time gets Burke swinging and evens it back up 2-2.
And really, Stamos has been really good out of the bullpen so far today. His stuff's been working, just the 2 solo shots, 2 of the 3 hits he's allowed, but coming out of a bullpen, coming in a lot earlier than him or any Saint coaching staff player thought they would after Viscayano only went an inning and 2/3, but he's been really good, and see if he can continue it.
That 2-2 pitch gets away from him, and now we're here at a full count again. Burke working this AB, as a lot of the Prune Packers have been all day so far. Stamos looking to get the second out, the full count pitch. That one down the middle. It's going to be a fair ball down the right field line. Burke's going to round first easily. Cowton's still running after it. A little bit of trouble over there. Burke might be thinking 3, and he is. It's Cobb throwing it in from the outfield, and Burke sliding into third safely there. It's going to be a 1-out triple from Blake Burke.
Blake Burke absolutely destroyed that baseball. There was no chance of Cruz to really get in front of that one. That was down the line and just perfectly placed. That baseball bounced off of the right field wall right next to the 314 sign in the foul pole and just bounced inside of that corner, which is enough to allow the heavy-set Blake Burke to be able to go to third. Burke isn't exactly the quickest base runner, but just where the baseball hopped inside of that corner of the ballpark.
And we've seen a few times, obviously this wall only at 314 and both foul poles, but we've seen a few times that right field fence, it gets a little tricky over there to get it. We saw Castillo triple last night as well. And when that ball gets in that corner, it's dangerous.
After the triple to Burke, it's Braden Runyon here taking some hacks against Stamos after taking him deep his last time up. First pitch from Stamos fooled Runyon. On the timing, it's quickly 0-1. Stamos now, the 0-1 pitch to Runyon. A little bit of break on it. Fools him again. Now 0-2 to Runyon. No, it's early, and no, it's no guarantee, but Blake Burke, 2 of the hardest legs of the cycle out of the way, and I'm sure he'll get 2 more chances to bat. And the triple and the home run already out, something we haven't seen this year, a cycle in a CCL game.
Yeah, and like you said, the 2 hardest ones he got out of the way. So a lot of work to go, but seems like he's seen the ball really well.
We've seen guys come pretty close to cycles, but sometimes they're missing that triple, or sometimes they're missing even just that single.
One of the hardest things to do in sports, not just baseball. There's been more no-hitters over the history of baseball than there has been players hitting for the cycle. Not an easy feat in the MLB. Trying to look to see if we'll see any success from that later on. We'll keep in touch with it, make sure we'll be keeping up with that for Blake Burke. But right now it's Braden Runyon down 0-2 to Stamos. Stamos delivers. That one's hit hard by Runyon down the line, virtually the same way Burke's was. Again, it's Runyon rounding second. Burke has come in to score. And after the triple given up from Stamos, it's a double to the next batter. And the score is now 7-0 Prune Packers.
Yeah, like you said, Tommy, almost the same exact thing, just the opposite part of the field. Burke ripping a triple down the right field line. Runyon here all over that pitch down the left field line for an RBI double, and a run in every inning so far for the Packers. It's pushed to 7.
And the Saints, they are warming something up quick. And I mean quick. Not a whole lot of time for him to come set. He is coming up firing. So they are going to try to use as much time as possible to allow Dom Dorado to warm up in the pen. So potentially why Coach Schmidt is going to be using this meeting, allow Dorado to warm up as much as possible, and potentially this could be the last at-bat for Stamos facing off against Blake McDonald.
A run in every inning so far for Healdsburg. Like we said, 3 in the first, coming courtesy of 2 home runs by Cam Blake and Blake Burke. And now leading this off will be Blake McDonald for the Prune Packers after the pitching visit from pitching coach Josh Schmidt. And 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run already in the inning. And Braden Runyon at second base. And Blake McDonald taking his hacks and getting ahead on the first pitch, but a little too ahead on it. It's now just in the 5th inning. They've been aggressive at the plate.
And ultimately, it just comes down to last night as well. The Saints, they just looked very flat offensively. Just not a lot going on. It was just the Drew Cowley show, and he was the only one that showed up to play. Maybe him and even Tommy Castillo, but it's a team effort. Everybody's got to step up to the plate. Everybody has to do their part. That's the thing about baseball. It doesn't just come down to one guy. Everybody needs to hit. It can't just be one guy. There's no such thing as an I guy in baseball, really, for him to do it all.
After a couple of takes from McDonald, the count's evened up 2-2. Runyon at second base, 1 down here in the inning. Stamos looks over at Runyon. Not a threat to run, I would imagine, and delivers. And that one, McDonald's going to get a piece of. And the count will remain 2-2.
Yeah, only 3 hits for the Saints in today's game so far, and all of them being a single. No extra base hits today, and like we mentioned before, only team without a homer in this very hitting-friendly ballpark. Got to get something going quickly if they want any chance of coming back in this game.
And really, there was only 2 of those 3 base hits that really left the infield. The 2 base hits by Josh Cowden were baseballs that were squared up, but then Tommy Castillo, he scorched one over to third, but mishandled by Braden Runyon. Would still stay in the infield. The shortstop McMillan trying to back up the play, but still was fortunate enough to get the base hit.
It's now a full count after the take from McDonald. Stamos worried about Runyon. He'll deliver the pitch on the inside part of the plate, and scorched is not even a good enough word for that one.
Maybe tattooed.
McDonald absolutely ripping that ball down the line, but it will be a foul ball, but all over that pitch on the inside part of the plate.
You know, maybe that's what the Saints needed. Maybe they needed a little wake-up call, and that whole dugout, was jumping away from that one.
It's still a full count to McDonald. The pitch from Stamos. Breaking ball hangs up there. It's going to drop into left. They're going to wave home Runyon. He's going to try to score, and there will be no throw. It'll be into second, and it's Blake McDonald with an RBI single to make this one 8-0.
Just once again, it's been every inning. These Prune Packers are ready offensively. 8 runs on the board just like that. In these first 5 innings of action, it's just making it harder and harder for the Saints to even have a shot today, and everything has just been working in their favor.
And after that RBI from McDonald, it'll be Kimball Schussler over here, and he swings at the first pitch. Looks like he's under it. Cowley's going to call off Boning, and a pop fly to third base will be the second out of this inning.
Yeah, before that pop-up from Schussler, there was 3 straight hits for the Packers in the inning.
It was a triple, a double, and a single from Burke, Runyon, and McDonald. And the pop fly to third there from Schussler. And now that brings up Ian McMillan. 1 for 1 today with a homer his last time up. And walked his first time. The first pitch from Stamos, and McMillan's all over it. He liked it, but this one's not going to go as far. This one's over to left field. It'll be Burden underneath it, and the inning will be over. But 2 runs come across for the Prune Packers. They extend their lead to 8-0 here in what could be the last game for one of these teams in the CCL State Championship. We'll head to the top of the 6th, where the Saints trail 8-0 here on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network.
Hitting for Castillo.
It's 8-0 here in the top of the 6th inning, and we have a pinch hitter. First time today we've seen this. It's going to be Bo Willis coming in. He'll be taking his hacks instead of Tommy Castillo, and Bo Willis is yet to get an at-bat in the state championship series right now. And he'll be excited to get after it. He gets the first pitch, and it's 1-0. And after that one misses for Hurley, it's quickly 2-0 to Willis.
Yeah, Bo Willis, another guy that really his average and stats don't show exactly his performance. Seems to always make hard contact on the ball. One of those guys has been a bit unlucky this season.
And Willis was part of that 3-headed monster all year behind the plate between Lewis, Willis, and Lindsley. That split reps behind the plate. Lindsley leaving just before this. It's 3-0 pitch to Willis. And no pitches to hit for Bo Willis, but he'll reach via the leadoff walk.
I have to say, Charlie Hurley is really struggling after these long innings. He just loses command of the baseball, and it really shows. And the Saints just haven't been able to capitalize on these mistakes that Hurley has been committing.
Yeah, that's Hurley's first walk of the game. Good job by Bo Willis, and another runner on now for Cali, nobody out.
And now it's Mr. Saint, Drew Cowley, his third year with the team. And what could be one of his last games. He takes the first pitch from Hurley. It's the 1-0 now. After that one's outside. Willis reaching on the leadoff walk. And runner on base now for Cowley. Now that's 6 straight balls to start the inning for Hurley. And we'll see if he can settle down and figure things out. Has been great so far through 5. But having some trouble with his command to start the 6th. It's 2-0 to Cowley. Pitch from Hurley. It's a ball low this time, and now it's 7, and that'll get Schussler to come out and talk to him.
Have to have a conversation with Hurley. He really is falling behind to these Saints hitters, and of course, there's still plenty of baseball left. The Saints, they have the caliber to come back into this ball game. There's still plenty of innings left. Just have to keep putting the pressure on Hurley to be able to throw good quality strikes. And the Saints, they got to keep putting up good quality at-bats and just find base runners any way at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Alex. Just you don't need to go hit over. We've been talking about they don't have a home run. Well, you don't need to right now. You're down 8 runs. You just got to get runners on via the walk. Good job by Bo Willis. Singles, doubles, anything. You just got to keep the line moving, really.
And quite frankly, try to find the ways to take an extra base in the smartest ways possible. Don't give out outs, but just try to find out how to get those extra bags.
And it was a get-me-over fastball from Hurley, his first strike in 7 pitches, and able to settle back in now. Healdsburg fans full on behind him, and that one in a similar spot. It's going to be grounded to short. It's going to be 6, 4, and 3. And just when the leadoff man reaches for the Saints, it's a double play that McMillan and Targach pull for 2 outs to start the 6th inning.
The story of the afternoon, right, for the Saints right now. We talk about getting runners on for Drew Cowley. Unfortunately, that one, a routine 6-4-3 double play, and you quickly erase the leadoff walk from Bo. Good job by Hurley. 7 straight balls to start the inning. In danger of walking the first 2 guys. Works it back and gets the double play ball.
Well, the leadoff man was on, but now after the double play, Peyton Lewis will bat with 2 down in the inning. And on the first pitch from Hurley, but foul. It's going to be strike 1 to Lewis. Just 3 hits in the game right now for the Saints. 2 of them coming from Josh Cowden and 1 from Tommy Castillo, who's already been pinch hit for. As Hurley misses outside there, counts now evened up 1-1. Hurley seems to be working quicker than normal now, but has struggled with finding the zone in this one. Has thrown 9 balls already in the inning to just 3 batters. Gotten the leadoff walk, as that one's going to be grounded over to Montgomery. It's rolled over by Lewis, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors in the inning. And Charlie Hurley for the Healdsburg Prune Packers is dealing right now. A shutout through 6 for him. We head to the bottom of the 6th, where the Prune Packers will take their hacks. They lead it right now 8-0. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here in Lincoln, California for the 2021 CCL State Championship Tournament. It's the number 1 versus 2 seed here in the consolation semifinals. Winner will go on to face the San Luis Obispo Blues in the CCL Championship game. And it's Dominic Dorado, better known as Dom, coming in now for relief of Stamos. And the junior out of Binghamton University from upstate New York, out here in California, pitching for the Saints. He is off and going here. His first pitch, a strike. And that one is going to be ripped up the middle. And it's going to be Boast picking up his first hit of the ball game, a single to start off the bottom of the 6th.
Tommy, I so could have predicted this base hit. Austin Bose was walking into the batter's box. He was grooving to his walk-up song, and that's just a good sign of him being fully confident, him just trying to pepper the baseball in the first pitch of the at-bat, but right after that, coming up with a base hit after that. It's all about feeling your walk-up song, and when a baseball player is feeling his walk-up song, he was dancing in the box before the first pitch was coming at him.
That's going to bring up Ryan Targach for the Prune Packers. So far, a very painful and uneventful day. A 0-for-0 performance here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 walks for him and a hit by pitch his last time up. And must be something that he said to the Saints pitchers before the game, because Dorado now in on the action behind on Targach, 2-0.
Yeah, and Dorado was really good for the Saints this summer. I mean, his numbers kind of imploded on his 2 starts that he made, but out of the bullpen has been really a key piece for the Saints all year.
ERA was under 2 this year when coming out of the bullpen for the Saints. His starts making it a little more inflated, but catching back up to Targach. It's 2-1 to him, and they trade a strike for a ball, and it's the hitter's count now, 3-1. It's 8-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Austin Bose getting on with the leadoff single, and now the hitter's count to Targach. The pitch from Dorado, it will miss, and it is now the bottom of the 6th inning, and 4 at-bats, and Ryan Targach has yet to record an official one with another walk.
Pitching just really falling apart here in this game. They can't get a 1-2-3 inning and can't pitch a scoreless inning as well. These first 5 that have already been in the books here for the Prune Packers, they have been able to establish a run. This is just great momentum moving into the next game. They could continue going moving forward. It's going to be an amazing game against the Blues if they keep this momentum in their favor and keep riding this wave.
It was a leadoff single from Boast, and then the walk to Targach, and that'll bring up Cam Blake for the Prune Packers. A home run already in this game in the first inning. He got us started today, and that one in a good spot there for Dorado. Blake's going to have to foul that one off, but he'll be ahead of him now, 0-1.
Yeah, Blake grounded a double play his last time up. Dorado would love to see that again. Still nobody out, and like you said, Alex, Saints still looking for their first scoreless inning.
0-1 pitch. That one rides in and hits him, and the first 3 men will reach. And the bases are now loaded with one of the biggest hitters on the Prune Packers roster, Torrin Montgomery.
This is not a guy you want to make a mistake with to try to break this game completely wide open and trying to give the gap to the Arroyo Seco Saints. You've got the bases loaded, nobody out here with a single and a walk and a hit by pitch. Dom Dorado is not locked into this game at all.
Montgomery, one of only 2 players in the starting lineup for the Packers yet to reach base.
And Montgomery will be patient here with the bases loaded, nobody out, wanting to do some damage. It's a pitch well up and away from Dorado. It's 1-0 to Montgomery. And the next pitch here, just missed by Montgomery. He's licking his chops to that one. It's fouled straight back, and it'll be 1-1. No outs in the inning, bases loaded. A leadoff single from Austin Boast, then a walk from Ryan Targach, and a hit by pitch to Cam Blake. Dorado's first inning of work not going as planned. 1-1 the count to Torrin Montgomery. And another foul ball that comes straight back off a pole holding up the netting here. And Dorado is ahead of Montgomery, 1-2.
Yeah, strikeout would be big for Dorado. We can strike out Montgomery, and it'd bring up Blake Burke. Still nobody out.
Saints currently trail 8-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dorado looking to retire Torrent Montgomery, the 1-2 pitch. And that one's roped past second base. Jackson Cobb won't be able to make it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. 1 run's coming around to score. Montgomery's going to second. There's going to be another run coming around, and the big man Montgomery's going to try to stretch it into a triple, and it gets away, and it's going to skip out of play, and it's going to be a triple with a base error, and 4 runs will come across the score for the Prune Packers, really opening this one up 12-0.
Not much to say there. I mean, great piece of hitting by Montgomery to go the other way, and because of where Cowden was lined up in the outfield, ends up getting all the way to the wall. Good hustle by all the base runners. Montgomery going to third. The throw into third is kind of short hops Callie, not able to keep it in front of him, and I mean, that's kind of just an exclamation point on this game.
Just continuously, it's been the pitching issues here in this game. The Saints had the Achilles heel of pitching today, and the Prune Packers, they have just attacked at the Achilles heel today.
Now stepping in, Blake Burke. Home run and a triple already for him today. And 4 runs coming across before we have the first out in the inning for the Saints. And a team that had phenomenal pitching all year long in a very uncharacteristic performance from the staff, and a message the Prune Packers are looking to send as the 1 seed was upset by the Blues in their first game, now fighting back in the consolation, as a check swing there by Burke will be fouled off. It'll be 1-2.
Yeah, and Tommy, barring a dramatic comeback for the Saints in this game, the Packers will get their revenge on the Blues in the championship game later tonight.
It'll be against the San Luis Obispo Blues, are in the championship game already. Burke chops that one foul off of Dorado, and looked like it fouled off of him as well. And they're going to get rid of the ball and reset. Count still 1-2.
Should be an interesting one if it ends up being the Prune Packers and the Blues. It'll be a rematch. Going to run it again. It was the Blues that just out-pitched the Prune Packers, and showing them how dominant the SoCal region and the SoCal division is here in the CCL. So if it ends up being the Prune Packers versus the Blues, it'll be a nice little NorCal versus SoCal, which soon, next year, it'll be NorCal versus NorCal.
A very big AB here, as fans out here travel well from Healdsburg, and for the most part have been pretty respectful over here. Don't think they're causing too much trouble. They eye me up over here sometimes, but nothing too hostile so far. So 1-2 now, the count to Burke. Pitch from Dorado is going to be a curveball that Burke knew. It found the zone, and it's finally the first out here in the bottom of the 6th.
It's a nice looking curveball, I have to say. Properly located, something that wasn't too much into the zone. Was still able to get the inside corner. At this point, Dorado just got to work on your mechanics, work on pounding the strike zone, and just stay within yourself.
1 down in the inning now. After the strikeout to Blake Burke, 4 runs already across in the inning, 12-0 Prune Packers. It's Braden Runyon now stepping in to face Dorado in his first inning of relief. And he starts off Runyon with a strike. It's 0-1 to Runyon. It was a single by Boast, a walk by Targach, and a hit by pitch by Cam Blake that loaded the bases for Torrin Montgomery. As that one's fouled off there by Runyon, it's now 0-2. And the bases were loaded and a shot to the gap for Montgomery, a grounder that got past second base that just kept rolling all the way to the wall. And it was going to be a triple that would score all three, and then a throwing error that went into the stands made it a grand slam the Little League way. A triple with the base error, the 0-2 pitch to Runyon. It's a ground ball towards Cruz at first, and it'll be 0-2 still to Runyon. Runyon already a home run today and a double as well in his last time up. Now sits 0-2 to Dorado.
Runyon arguably been the best hitter for the Packers in this playoffs and the 3 games they've played so far.
Take there by Runyon on a close breaking ball, but will not get the call as Dorado. It's now 1-2 to Runyon.
Have to say, these last 2 appearances for Dorado just have been tough. The 2 worst starts for the Southpaw. You go back to San Luis Obispo when he came in 3 innings of relief.
It's a high chopper there from Runyon. A nice pick by Boning. And with a game that has not had a lot of great action for the Saints, Brandon Boning's defense, we've seen it all year long. He makes it look easy, and it's the second out of the inning.
Even the opponent's fan, the Packers fans, applauding that one, shocked. But if you ask any Saints fan, they're not shocked. You knew Boning was coming up with that play. I'm not surprised at all. But he makes it look so easy, and that's the impressive thing is he came up scooping that with ease, and a strong throw gets him.
And believe it or not, he just makes it look so tailor-made there, and this is something that he's been doing all year round.
If playing shortstop was an art form, Boning would be Picasso. Makes it look great over there at short. And now it's Blake McDonald with 2 down here against Dom Dorado. Fouling off the first pitch, it's now 0-1. And then the next pitch is ripped through second and first. And McDonald will get his 3rd single in his last 3 at-bats and improves to 3 for 4 on the day.
$11 hits now for the Packers in the game, and just continuing to make it very difficult for the Saints. I mean, I think every inning's been a long inning out there for the Saints players and pitchers, and just made it brutal for them right now.
A run in every inning at least for the Prune Packers, as that one's going to be grounded towards Boning, and it should be a fielder's choice to second at Cobb, and the inning will be over. Schussler will ground out to Boning, but 4 runs come across to score on a triple that was led by Torrin Montgomery. 3 RBIs, then the throwing error got him to come around, and 4 will be posted in the bottom of the 6th. The Arroyo Seco Saints currently trailing the Healdsburg Prune Packers 12-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. You're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. We're through 6 complete. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Saints currently trail 12-0 to the Healdsburg Prune Packers, and my time as the play-by-play is done today. And it's time for Jarrett Thompson to bring us home. Jarrett, after you.
Thank you, Tommy. Maybe the change of play will change the direction of this game. Not really going well for the Saints right now. But a good thing is his new pitcher for the Packers will be Edward Sardi out of the University of Pennsylvania. And he'll get the 4, 5, and 6 guys of Cowden, Burden, and Cruz.
Josh Cowden, 2 hits today for him.
The 1-0 pitch is skied high in the air out towards left. And it's going to be the center fielder, Cameron Blake, to run over and make the catch for out number 1.
Has been one of the only Saints that has seen to come around on the baseball. And flying out to center there, not ideal, but it's the first time he's retired today. And just nothing can get going right now for the Saints. A detrimental feeling, down 12, and you got 8 outs left.
The Packers have faced the minimum in the last 2 innings. And first pitch to Burden's fouled off, and the Saints only twice. The most they've sent up is 4 hitters in an inning. And last half inning, the Packers sent up 8. Part of their big 4-run outburst to make it 12-0. The 0-1 to Jack Burden. He gets jammed a little bit, popped towards foul territory. Third baseman Runyon running over there. It's going to be foul.
Good effort there by Runyon. Diving over there to go after it. Going to go over the fence, but no cigar on that one.
0-2 now to Jack Burden. Burden struck out twice so far today, both on 3 pitches. In danger of doing that for the 3rd time tonight. Sardi kicks and deals. And Burden, nice eye. On one's high. It's 1-2. Saints looking for their first run of the ball game. In danger of being shut out. 1-2 Burden into right. That's a base hit. So a single for Jack Burden has the Saints a base runner.
Burden able to get out of that slump, 2 Ks in the day and avoid the hat trick today. Jack Burden just trying to collect as many base hits as possible during this postseason run.
And if you're Jack Burden, after the hardships you had in the middle part of the season, a great way to end it, at least for Burden. He's been picking up hits in a lot of ball games and really coming around and showing off the player he was to start the season as well, too.
Yeah, Burden has a hit. And each game of this postseason, he had 2 in the first game, 1 last night, and that one here today as Cruz fouls that one off. It's 0-1. Cruz got robbed of a hit his last time up. A nice diving play by Targach at second.
Just to add to the many things that have been going so well for the Prune Packers. Just playing very sharp defense and more. They haven't been playing 100%. It has been 110%. In defensive plays and just putting up highlight reels left and right today.
Definitely came out today with that mindset of wanting to get the Blues, wanting to get to the Blues in the championship game. 1-1 is taken outside to Cruz. It's 2-1.
Definitely played the song "Taking Care of Business." That's exactly what they're trying to do today.
You want to finish the rest of that? You were kind of going in right there, Big Al. I didn't know you had such a great voice. So.
Hey, Tommy, I was hoping that you would help me out there.
I got no harmonies for me.
Oh man, you sound like you've got some vocals, man. I've been listening to you, but you know who's the real vocal man? The man next to you, Jarrett. I'm sure you guys have caught Jarrett singing in some of the broadcasts.
Yeah, accidentally at the hot mic. 3-1 Cruz flies that one out towards left. Bose is right there to make the routine catch, and 2 down here for the Saints in the top of the 7th.
Able to get around to make contact there is Cruz, but not strong enough. Just underneath it, it's an easy, lazy fly ball. And just nothing working for the Saints right now. Brandon Boning looking to see if he can do something with 2 outs and Burden on. If you're the Saints, you don't want to get shut out in your last game. 12-0 right now. Might as well send Burden on the run, get something going. Heck, maybe lay a bunt down and see if it can work or something there.
That one's getting thrown to the backstop, and it'll allow Braden to take second with ease. And a base hit now could give the Saints their first run. And that's what you want to do if you're the Saints right now. Obviously, 12 runs is going to be a lot in 3 innings. Could they do it? Possibly. But even if it doesn't happen, you want to go out on a high. You want to start getting some better at-bats, get some of these guys some hits as the last few at-bats this summer.
Not exactly the way you want to go down and finish your summer.
The 1-0 from Sardi. Boning grounded to third. It's going to be picked up. And the throw over to first of Montgomery's in time. So Braden is stranded on second after the Boning ground out. That's 7 shutout innings for the Packers. 7th inning stretch time with the Arroyo Seco Saints trailing 12-0. Ian McMillan to lead things off for the Packers in the bottom of the 7th. Fino Amador, the new pitcher for the Saints, and his first pitch fastball is fouled off. It's 0-1. The Packers sent 8 men to the plate. In fact, Ian McMillan made the last out in the 5th, the only man not to bat in the bottom half of the 6th inning when they put up a 4 spot on Dom Dorado. Fino looking to get the first scoreless inning for the Saints today. The 0-1 fouled off. It's 0-2.
He's got a new look on the mound now. He used to have the long curly hair and decided to cut it. Maybe this new look will help him out.
Yeah, I mean, when he was first warming up in the bullpen, I couldn't tell who he was without the hair.
None of us were really able to recognize him. We saw him in the bus, and all of us were asking, hey, who's the new player? We picked someone up late, or what's going on?
Misses high there with the fastball. It's 1-2. McMillan homered back in the 4th inning. One of 4 home runs for the Packers today. The 1-2. He swings and misses at the ball in the dirt. And Fino Amador strikes out the first man he faces, out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
A 0 ERA with the new looks without the long hair. It's working for him already. I say keep it that way. You've got to keep this look.
Followed a high fastball that was taken by McMillan with one in the dirt, and he chased. So McMillan strikes out for the first time tonight. That'll bring up the top of the order, Austin Boast. Boast has been on twice, one via a single and one via a hit by pitch. First pitch from Fino is a breaking ball that misses, ball one. One and 0 to Boast. Amador delivers, and that misses. It's 2-0. The 2-0. And that one catches his own 2-1. The San Luis Obispo Blues awaiting the winner of this game for the championship game tonight. Packers 6 outs away of clinching that spot. The 2-1's in the dirt. It's 3-1 now. Three balls, one strike. Fastball taken high. It's a walk. So Boast reaches for the third time today with a one-out walk.
And a lot of free passes being issued right now for the Saints. This guy on deck, 3 of them today. And if you count his hit by pitch, is 0 for 0 still late in this one. And 3 walks and a hit by pitch for Targach, and another one there issued to Boast, who was walked and hit by a pitch earlier today as well, too.
Yeah, 3 hit by pitches. Targach first pitch swing is a liner right to Cowden right. You have a chance for double him up. The throw to first, not going to be in time. So Targach hits it hard, but right at Josh Cowden. He's out number 2.
If Cowden was able to get rid of that one just a little quicker, and if the throw was more in line, we could be seeing a very quick inning for the Saints.
Looking for their first inning without allowing a run here now, too. And that's never a good recipe for success. 6 straight innings with scoring for Healdsburg, and 4 in the last one. Would be a little late for it now, but would go a lot for confidence, especially for Amador, who's struggled as of late in the season, to get an inning with no runs on the board against the number 1 team.
Oh, and a shattered bat, and that ball goes back into fair territory. Fino picks it up and will touch the bag himself. So one pitch to the pinch hitter, Hans Smith, the hero in yesterday's game. He split his bat in half. Fino takes it himself for out number 3. The first time the Saints have not allowed a run in an inning, and it came in the bottom of the 7th. Saints down to their last 6 outs, trailing by 12. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Edward Sardi back out there for the 8th inning. After only allowing a single in the 7th, it's 1-0 to Connor Bradshaw. Bradshaw goes the other way again, and that one's going to finally drop for him. He's hit it hard every at-bat, and this one finally falls, and the Saints got their leadoff guy on.
And you know what? Good on Connor Bradshaw, finally getting his first hit. Struggled in this state championship, and he'll be the first one to tell you it. He knows exactly how it happened, but he never gave up, kept fighting it through, and figured it out. And now he can at least finish what was a great year for him and the Saints this entire summer with a single that can hopefully break out of his slump and get him back to college ready to go.
And Connor Bradshaw, that was an inside-out swing. He was able to muscle one enough to be able to flip one the other way.
Yeah, his weakest contact of the day happens to be the one that falls for him. It's funny how baseball works sometimes. It's Jackson Cobb now swings and misses, and the count's even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Even Jackson Cobb hasn't been himself either. As of yesterday's game, he's been chasing these low pitches. He keeps trying to throw the fishing lure out there and pitches that are out of the zone, and it's not a good look for him for these past 2 games.
That's a little chopper back to the pitcher. It's going to be off the glove of Sardi's going to fall down trying to make the spin throw. Can't make the play. And the first 2 hitters reach for the Saints here in the 8th.
And Jackson Cobb going to get an infield single there. Would have been a tough play for Sardi. Not going to credit him with the error, but I thought for sure that a play that maybe could have been made by the second baseman should Sardi not have touched it, and if that would have ended in a double play after another leadoff man getting on for the Saints, that would have been something. But now a big change in the energy of the inning. 1 run in scoring position, the other at first now for the top of the order.
Yeah, it's Bo Willis. He came in for Tommy Castillo and worked a 4-pitch walk back to lead things off in the 6th. We've seen the Saints square up so many balls right at Packers players. Their first 2 hits in this inning, 2 soft contacts that happen to fall for him. And Bo Willis now heading the count 2-0. Yet to see a strike since he's entered the game. (2-0). And that one's low. 3-0 to Bo Willis. Best chance of the game for the Saints here with 2 runners on and nobody out. Callie to follow. The 3-0. And that one misses. So Bo Willis comes into the game, sees 8 pitches, all of them for balls, and the bases are loaded for Drew Callie.
They don't want a piece of Bo here in this game. With 2 walks, can't complain.
And right now we're sitting with what could be the last Saints at-bat for one of the most memorable Saints that we've had, Drew Cowley.
Bases loaded, nobody out. First pitch, he's out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1.
Someone knew that it was a bad day today with the hitting woes of Drew Cowley, just going over 3 right now with a strikeout. Just very unlike Drew Cowley. The only time they've ever seen him go over 4 was the very first game of the year against the San Diego Force. And we've seen him go over, but in pinch hit situations.
Way out in front of both the first 2 pitches of this at bat. And he's quickly behind 0-2. Let's see if Sardi decides to go back to one of those breaking balls. He does, and Cowley chases it. 3 pitches sends Drew Cowley down on strikes. And that's out number 1.
That's 3 straight changeups delivering to Drew Cowley, and not one was he able to touch and unable to read as well. Was thinking fastball all the way, but just the filthiness of the changeup. It started like it was going to be in the low part of the zone, and right when it crossed the plate, it just died. That's what a great changeup is going to do, and he had Drew Cowley off balance in that at-bat.
That'll bring up Peyton Lewis. And he takes fastball low and inside, ball 1. Lewis does have a grand slam this season. First home run for the Saints all year. Back at the beginning of the season. 1 out, bases loaded, the 1-0. And that one's ripped down the right field line, but Lewis is out in front. Gonna have to straighten that out. Counts 1-1.
And we talk about how great Peyton Lewis has been with runners on, and seemingly how he just situationally knows how to get the runner home. And right now, a lot of pride at bats coming up, down 12, 5 outs remain for the Saints, and bases loaded to at least get something back on the board and go out with your head held high to end it off.
That one was in the dirt. Good block by Schuessler, and it's 2-1. The pitch, and that's inside, and now it's already in danger of walking in the Saints' first run of the ball game. Josh Cowden is on deck. He'll come to the plate barring a double play. The 3-1, and that's in the dirt. Ball 4. So Sardi walks Peyton Lewis, and that will score Connor Bradshaw, and the Saints have their first run of the game. It's 12-1.
It's a walk, but it's an RBI for Lewis. We talked about it, adds another one to his total. But the first run the Saints are able to come across, it's virtually given to them by the Packers. And now the man who's at least got 2 hits today, Josh Cowden, looking to get something going and get an RBI opportunity here as well.
First pitch of Cowden in there for a strike. Yeah, 2 singles and 2 walks in the inning. Have the Saints their first run. Still looking to do more damage. No balls, 1 strike to the Milkman. And he popped that one up. It's going to be shallow center. Targach going out. It's going to be the center fielder Blake to make the catch. Too shallow to tag, and Cowden is out number 2.
See, in a situation like this, if you're trailing 12-1, the ideal thing is to just try to work the at-bat as much as possible, see as many pitches as possible, and look for the right one to drive as opposed to trying to attack at a very young at-bat.
That leaves them loaded with 2 outs for Jack Burden. Burden singled to right field his last time up. First pitch him, he's swinging. He turns on that one towards right field. Burke going down the right field line towards the bullpen area and will make the catch in foul territory. So the Saints, with a couple of hits, a couple of walks, get their first run. It's now a 12-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, 12-1 the score in favor of the Prune Packers over the Saints. Cole Elvis to pinch hit for the Packers. He gets another new pitcher for the Saints. That's Merrick Sears, the lefty from Washington State. His first pitch was outside for a ball, and that one's high. It's quickly 2-0. That one's fouled off. It's 2-1. Two balls, one strike from Sears. And nearly hits him. That would have been another hit by pitch. We've seen a lot of that from the Saints pitchers today, but Elvis able to get out of the way. It's 3-1.
You know, Merrick Sears coming in here in the bottom of the 8th was consistently a starter this year for the Saints. Thought we might have an opportunity to get a start from him this year.
That one's grounded to short. Boning on the backhand. It goes off his glove. And it's going to allow Elvis to reach first. It was going to be a difficult play, one that we've seen Boning make, though, many times.
And that is very uncharacteristic of Boning there as well to miss that one. Just an off day for the Saints altogether.
That's usually a play that he knocks down. He was trying to read that one hop. You saw that he was already positioned to field it. He tried to go with the hop, but the baseball was just acting very spooky with him there and just couldn't knock it down.
That's going to bring another pinch hitter, Seth Nager. The lefty's hitting. And he pops that one up towards third. Callie will make the catch, and Nager's retired for out number one.
And just an easy play there. The pop-up to get us through it. And the first out here for Merrick Sears. And as I was saying earlier, a guy who started a lot of games for the Saints and did a lot for them and was hoping he would get a start somewhere in the state championship tournament, but he unfortunately was the man left out. But a well-deserved inning at least for him for what he's done this season. One of those few lefties, like we said, all of them really being used today for the Packers, rather the Saints. And maybe not always the flashiest pitcher or the stud on the mound, but really ate a lot of great innings and was a guy who could go really deep into games early in the season.
Another pinch hitter, Blake Piveroff, now at the plate. And he's ahead in the count, 2-1 on Sears. One out runner on first here in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch, big cut from Piveroff, but a little tardy on the fastball. It's 2-2. Elvis on first, the pitch. Swing on and miss. Sears strikes out Piveroff. His first strikeout and out number 2.
Got to expect both teams to really emptying out the bench as much as they can. Expect the Prune Packers going to be using their pinch hitters, using their dugout as much as possible. And we talked about it before we jumped into the break. The Prune Packers, they are running a very deep roster compared to the Saints.
Jesse Lopez will now pinch hit for the Packers. Getting everyone in for the championship game. And that one's high, ball 1.
And just in a game that you needed to win in order to get to the CCL championship, the consolation semis right here. The Saints came out and a little bit flat-footed and just unable to slow down and derail the Prune Packers, who were on a mission today.
And honestly, it just goes back to even the Lincoln Potters game. Tommy Steyer pitched a masterful day there on the mound, and even then, they won that one. But it wasn't like the Saints' offense was rolling like they usually do. They were able to get the necessary runs to win the ball game, but even then, the Saints have been one of the more offensive teams in the CCL, and they just haven't been able to show up here in the big stage where it matters most.
Like you said, the Packers came in today on a mission, and they're just went right through the Saints from the first pitch, as that one's fouled off by Lopez, and it's 2-2 still.
Lopez was off to that extremely fast and wildly paced start at the beginning half of the season, then ended up injuring a quad at the CCL showcase game and has since been sidetracked a little bit, a couple pinch hit appearances here and there and a few starts.
That one's hit high out towards shallow center. It's going to be Cobb backing up, and will make the routine catch for out number 3. A clean inning from Merrick Sears. We head to the 9th with the Saints needing a miracle. They trail 12-1. Last at bats for the Saints here in the top of the 9th. Jake Cruz to lead things off against Edward Sardi, with the Arroyo Seco Saints trailing 12-1. Cruz a big swing. Comes up empty. It's 0-1.
Took a swing and was taking a look at the right field wall, see if maybe he got a hold of it. Usually pulling the head too early, got to keep your eye on the baseball. I know it sounds something very cliche, but ultimately that's what you got to do with that mammoth of a swing.
And mammoth is the best word for it right there. Jake Cruz, he's done with baseball after this, already a graduate of San Diego State. He wants one more home run, he says, and if that swing didn't show it right there, I don't know what else does.
The 0-2's fell off. He fell to a knee on that swing. He swung so hard.
He spun to a knee, didn't even fall to it, showing off his best dancing with the stars should he make it somewhere after this, but a big hack there from Cruz, and it's been the most action we've seen from the Saints pretty much for the most part was that big swing there.
I thought that was Adrian Beltre coming down, dropping on a knee.
The 0-2, he goes to the opposite field, but that one's going to tail foul and out of play, and it still remains 0-2.
Forgot that there's the left field wall as well that he can hit to.
He definitely has the power to go that way. Yeah.
That showed off some opposite field power, and maybe on a better day, it's gone.
That one's a chopper towards second. It's going to be the first baseman to cut off and drop the ball. Cruz not sprinting down the line. The throw to the pitcher who does not catch it, but then picks it up. With Cruz just jogging down the line, it's a weird play, but out number 1.
And not the home run swing he wanted, so not the effort he put in. And no one talking to him about it. Not much you can do about it. There's 2 outs remaining in the Saints season and 11-run deficit to overcome.
Maybe not the best of examples of hustle, or as people like to use the Charlie hustle.
So 1 out here in the ninth. Now the last 2 outs. Boning chases one in the dirt, strike 1.
It's been the changeup that has gotten the Saints hitters off balance. And smart of the Prune Packers to continuously utilize the changeup and keeping the baseball low.
One catches the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2. The 0-2. That skips to the backstop. It's 1-2. Like I said, Tommy, now these final at-bats are kind of some pride at-bats. Trying to get your last swings. We see some people, going up there just trying to hit a bomb, like Cruz.
He made it very obvious that's exactly what he was trying to do.
The 1-2 to Boning. That misses outside. It's 2-2. Bradshaw is next. If one were to reach, he would bring up Jackson Cobb.
And Boning, another great Saint this season, and likely his last at-bat with the organization as well, too.
Boning a chopper towards third. That's going to be just foul. And Boning will have to go back to the batter's box and do it again.
Going to be interesting enough that some of these players are only going to have at least 2 weeks off after this is done. Have to report back to their respective programs, and they're going to have to start talking about conditioning work, getting back into shape, lifting weights, and just trying to get back into that baseball form, because once January starts rolling around, they are just practicing on everything as far as bunt defenses, swinging, hitting live, hitting in the cages, practicing on bunts, and everything that you need to do.
Boning chases that off-speed pitch, and he's down on strikes for out number 2. Saints down to their final out.
And another swing that gets a Saint down to a knee, not Jake Cruz this time, but Brandon Boning. And just a pitch he's well out in front of. And the man who usually starts every game for the Saints at the leadoff spot, Connor Bradshaw, in the 8th spot today, could be the final at-bat of the season.
First pitch swinging, and it's foul, 0-1. Bradshaw singled his last at-bat. He's 1 for 3. The 0-1 in the dirt. And it'll be 1-1. One ball, one strike. Bradshaw, big cut. But out in front of that change, it's 1-2.
And a star-studded performance today from these Beverly Healdsburg Prune Packers. And they'll be ready to face San Luis Obispo for another time should they get this one here.
1-2, Bradshaw chases it in the dirt. And that's going to end the ball game. The Prune Packers defeat the Saints, ending the Saints season. The Packers will move on to the championship game to get a rematch with the San Luis Obispo Blues. Alex, Tommy, a disappointing way to end the season for the Saints. Really flat pretty much all game today. But this game doesn't, show how the season was for the Saints. What is your guys' recap with that?
Not at all. Not a great representation of this Saints season. This will be our last time with this headset on for the summer, and I would be ashamed to not thank the entire Saints organization for a great summer and fun and eventful baseball all year long in these last 2 months, and they gave me my first shot, my first opportunity here now to call games, and it was a pleasure. It was a great run. The number 3 team in the entire CCL, and that's nothing to hang your head on. Some great performances, some amazing memories we saw, from maybe Drew Colley's walk-off home run to Tommy Steyer's start in this playoffs. There was amazing times and memories throughout this entire season, and it's a shame it had to end this way.
First, I want to start off by saying thank you so much to the Saints organization from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be a part of the organization and to be with such a successful team with the interns from ourselves. And want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you guys for tuning into every one of our broadcasts. We really appreciate the support. Your Arroyo Seco Saints falling short here in the postseason. But you know what? You can't discount the year that these guys had. This was a great team, great year for them, coming in as the 3 seed, just like Tommy said, to only the Santa Barbara Foresters and to the Prune Packers. Bruins Packers, they played their hearts out today. They were out on a mission, and now they're going to play against another team that is out with a mission as well. So once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to each and every one of you guys for tuning into our broadcast and for the opportunity to be a part of your evenings, your days, and just to be a part of your summer as well.
It was a season full of highs, lows, and just a lot of quality and exciting baseball for the Saints. It'll be fun to watch these Saints players, and as they continue their journey, as well as us interns continuing our journey. We thank you for listening, not just today, but all season. For Tommy Wirtz and Alex Aveja and the entire Arroyo Seco Saint intern staff, the entire Arroyo Seco Saint team, thank you for listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network.
Good night, Mom.